and then I'll just stream here too. So it's looking for a texture, and the textures don't exist. So how do I import a texture? Let me learn that real quick. But as far as, let me explain to you two real quick on how to get this going. So what you want to do is go to Ikiemu, go to the forums. I actually linked you to this, and go to the open zone section. All right. Inside of the section, there's the downloads link, and I just downloaded the latest, which was 5.6. There is an OpenZone sample textures pack here. Let me get these all downloaded. This stuff's old, like over 11 years ago.
Damn.
But it's just because nobody has really pushed the envelope beyond what they did here. So let me see if one of these texture packs fixes my issue. And once I get this kind of sorted, I might make a new repo so you don't have to do so many downloads and crap.
A consolidated, streamlined process.
Exactly. So sample textures. I'm just going to download all these real quick. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's just do 4, 5. I think they're all going. I don't need an update. 1, 3. I missed 2. All right, there we go. So 1, 3, 2. I'm missing 2. There's 2. Okay. So we're gonna grab all these. We're gonna go back to here. We're gonna just extract these here. Perfect. Now I'm betting, so like this is called Bluestone, right? Oh, look, it says texture. Interesting. So let me see if Bluestone exists in this path. It does. So this is what it's supposed to look like. But for some reason, it does not find textures. Let's go to like preferences real quick and see if there's like a... All right, EQG folder. Okay, that's good to know. Let me actually set that. C drive, games, EQ, and I'm calling it last custom for now. Allow numeric, show zone dimensions. This is, I'm just gonna leave all default. I don't think anything in there looks too interesting. Okay. What about texture settings? Let's see. Export into the mesh library. Okay. This is having to do with making like sub-objects. Here's ground editing. So where do I like manage textures? Being somebody that's worked with a lot of various tools, I usually can glance at things and learn them pretty quick. Let's see. Change water settings, insert scene, translate file, properties. Here we go. Here are creatures and meshes that are in the zone. Here's also East Common, lands, E-Commons. This is an indoor zone. We want, right now there's no meshes, which is fine, and there's no creatures. That's fine. Okay. So where is the pairing of textures? I know that textures are referenced like this. But how does, like there's a listing here to choose textures, and I don't see that choosing list. And there's no add texture either. Interesting. Is it over here? Ground, display, mesh, wind zone. There's a texture set. Okay, so how do we manage texture sets? We have grouping, edit ground textures. That's not it. There is toggle between bird's eye and, yeah. There is a help file apparently, which is not there anymore. Geometry, weapons, like this all doesn't make sense here. All right, where else could I be missing? There's like a texture pack system. I wonder if it's just in a flat path. Let's check that real quick. Open zone. has library, and then here's textures, and then you have WinZone. All right, so what does the README say? Put common textures here, that is, textures you want to be able to use all of your zones. They must be in Windows BMP format, preferably, and not DDS. Okay, so if we go back to my textures, right, and I put them all into Open Zone Library Textures, I'm actually going to make it into like a new folder and call it Sample. Paste all this in. What should happen, I might have to reload, but this should be reloaded with that. So let me close, open up Open Zone, because I didn't see an option to refresh an app, you know? And then we will reopen the file, and that was the dungeon test. Then let's go to texture set, there it is, sample. And okay, so in theory, why aren't the let's just assume the textures are loading now, but they're just not previewing properly for some reason. Let's test. Let's export again. eCommons. That's fine. I'm still in character select. It's fine. Enter. And it's probably going to still be white, but I just wanted to first re-verify. Yeah, you can see it's still very white. And also I'm very oddly positioned, like in a wall or something, but that's all right. Cool, so let's camp, go back to the thing, and figure out why textures aren't pairing properly. I don't get the listing to choose textures. Sample does a pop up here though. How does this like apply? Show transparent polygons, show lights. Okay. So what am I missing? Let's see. Nobody's on. Okay. You have all the various face textures. Dirty, broken tile. Default, choose nothing. How do we pair? Okay. Ooh, Ground Editor has a texture listing system, but export into mesh library. Yeah, from what I can tell, these textures should be loaded now. Why aren't they? Yeah, like the choose list is empty. Let's just make a new yeah, see, I don't get it there either. Are these BMPs proper? Let's double check that. So let's go to library, textures, and go like to sample. Let's open one of these up with like a sprite or something. And actually, do I know how to do that in sprite? I think if I go to sprite properties, you can see it's RGB. Yeah, it's not going to give me that data, but I might be able to click it, go to properties, and see it in details. Yeah, bit depth 24, BMP. This all should be good stats for what it wants. So, meshes, scripts. Why does scripts have BMPs? That's interesting. Textures, Let's reread this. Put common textures here, that is textures you want to be able to use with all of your zones. They must be in Windows. Yeah, okay. Now let's go to Wins, whatever. Put zone specific textures here. They must be. Do you think the name of the texture zone matters? Like, do I need to call it the same as what my file is? That doesn't sound right, but maybe. There is a HLP file here. Open with the stub. I guess the .hlp files have been discontinued, which is why you can't see help. Well, that's fun. All right, let's open up again. Go to dungeon test. Go back to texture set, eCommons. Match point. I'm in here with my e-girl sec. I'm on stream though. Oh, fuck. I'm on not 7 point. Oh, yeah. I guess I got a newer one than you. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out how I can get textures to load.
I'm not streaming. I like that better. But as far as cuteness, that one's not bad. Let me see close up this one.
And of course, this thing's unstable.
Texture there. That looks like it's a very clothy material. I prefer, personally, ones that have like that fake leather. Vinyl. I mean, whichever one you want. I liked the first one I pointed at the best. I don't like the texture of the wheel per se, but I think the accents work a little bit nicer.
Oh, cute.
Oh, interesting. Now it's loading textures. There we go.
Hey, ding ding.
Okay, wait. Let's double check. So eCommons, Gray Marble. I mean, I don't know if Gray Marble is even in here. But you know what? Let's just change it to like some interesting-ish texture. Like, oh, that looks interesting. Gold Mosaic. Boom. Now this did not change. Oh, there it is. It's like in here too. Oof, that's gross. Let's go to like Gold Mosaic real quick. Boom. Okay, so they all changed. This unfortunately never shows you. Or does it? Oh, look, it's over there. Good. So that's the column. Here's the ground, which apparently the ground is nothing. This is just some sort of 3D point coordinate thing. But the column is all that exists. And it's apparently that. So you know what? Screw it. Let's export it. Let's see if we can get into the game and what it looks like. Yeah, export that. Yep. Okay. What should happen is I'll probably have nothing. Yep. But if I hit go to 0, 0, oh no, this is the old zone, it looks like, because we should not have this geometry. So, camp, I think it may be retaining data or something. Let's double check. Oh, no. It exports. Does it export back to last custom? I don't actually know if I ever verified that. Let me delete that. go back in here and just try exporting and see if it... Yeah, see, it says it's overwriting. No, it's zones. Okay. It's not smart enough to put it right into your EQ directory. That's fine. So let's copy those, put them back in here. Now it should load it. All right, and there's my pillar. It's a lot smaller than I expected, but it's there and it's also not textured, but that's something to figure out. Okay. So in theory, ground column should have eCommons. So why aren't textures? Are they not being baked into the S3D? I can verify that. I can just use tools, EQ zip, open that up, go find C drive, games, EQ, last custom. Let's go find eCommons, open the S3D up, and you can see there that the gold mosaic is in the pack. So this, let's look at my logs. Maybe there's something afoot with loading. So logs, debug, boom. Let's go to eCommons. There's going to be a lot of them. So let's start at the bottom. So you can see here, it loaded an EQG file at 21. I don't even know what time it is right now. Yeah, there's a chance. Is there an EQG file anymore, or is that old data? Thought I took that out. Yeah, there's no EQG. So eCommons.s3d was never in the logs here, which is a little concerning considering... Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to fully quit out. And that should flush my log when I start up again. All right, start up EQ. As you see, the log just got flushed in the background.
Flushed.
And now, where's Bounty EQ? Okay. I spun up a server real quick, one of my old ones. And yeah. Let's go check the game's booting in the background. There it is. Let's log back in and let's see if the texture loads. And also, if not, let's look at the logs now that they're clear. Look at that. That would be a loaded texture.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's technically no ground. Like this geometry, it is there though. Like that's totally geometry. But it says that's just a point. Interesting. But that right there is 100% like this. I think there is some caching going on though. So that's interesting. Okay, so let's go back to like dungeon test real quick, which it looks like changing zones is buggy. It crashes. That's so fine. That's fine. I'm okay with crashes considering it kind of works. Open zone.
The lesser of all evils, at least.
Yeah. All right. We're going to open up dungeon test again. And let's see if we can figure out why Bluestone is not loading. Like, can I just click the drop down and get all of them? No. If I come over here and then set this to eCommons, this, by the way, looked like it changed. I don't even know what that is, but as you can see, nothing, like I don't get the drop down yet. Interesting. Is it not applying it? I did choose, I hit OK, I went OK, and then I went back here and Interesting. I don't know what I did different. I'm tempted to see if I can make my own world real quick. This is going to be tough with just the knowledge I have right now, but
Fuck it.
yeah,
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
that's right. You see here it says texture set, and then it says none. That's interesting. Like almost like I don't have my textures defined right or something. But we have center at 0, 0, 0. The size is interesting. Let's just say, give me an outside. Here you go. Here's a blank world. Now, how do we add, here's a floor. We're going to call it floor 1, right? So this floor is just going to be the center of the world. That's fine. In fact, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to try to get the textures in, which you can potentially I don't know why I don't see my textures even on a clean one. Interesting. But nevertheless, I'm going to try to just export this real quick and see if this works. Literally just I put a floor in, will it work? Oops. Doesn't help to do it when I'm in the game though. That's a little worrying. But maybe it works. Let's see. This will look very similar. There just won't be a pillar anymore if it worked. There is a pillar. I think there's a cache going on. Caching mechanism or something. Because it was the last zone I've been in. You know what I could try is zoning out and in. And that would potentially flush it. Because I doubt it's retaining data on a old zone. So let me try that actually. So zone W commons. Or zone Nariac A. Alright, so now we're in.
Oh.
I don't think it'll let you overwrite the zone file while you're in the zone, by the way. I think that's why.
Go to 0, 0, 0. Okay, so you're saying I had an override issue and it didn't let me really know that. So
I think so.
let's try it. Export.
I've been watching.
I figured. Let's log in. And there's still a pillar. All right. Oh, no. It's not that it overwrites. Remember, it always exports to zones. So I keep forgetting I need to copy it. That helps.
Oh, I was under the belief that you were exporting it straight to EQ.
Nope. Okay, so as you can see, I have some sort of geometry here. I am not falling at 0, 0, 0. So yeah, let's play with this a little bit more. Let's say I'm gonna put a staircase right near us, and let me see how this looks. Yeah, so there's gonna be this huge staircase. Should be super obvious if this works. So export. Take this, put it into this, replace, log back in, and there should be a stairway. If there is, we got it really solid for, testing. Oh, we got a frozen loading zone file error going on right now, you can see. Wonder if it'll tell us anything. Yeah, you can see it's crashing.
Go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to recover from that. That's all right. Good to know, though. EQ game and task. EQ game, start a new one. Why is it like I double click and it goes to rename? Like double click should just start it. I don't want you to rename with it. All right, so we're getting back in there.
Unacceptable.
And wait, why is this now just a cube? Wait, what happened here?
The cube is the most superior of all polygons.
Did it like create? Whoa! Why did it just fucking zoom way the hell out? And now I have no geometry. Am I zoomed all the way out or in? This.
If you double tap on the object in the top left, I think it'll take you back to it.
But see, now I have a cube. I don't know. Anyways, I'm in game. There is no geometry. Huh. You know what? New file. I didn't do anything to it yet. The fact that there's no texture is concerning. Did you ever figure that out, Gangsta? Have you messed with textures yet?
With the textures?
Yeah.
No, I haven't touched it at all. I made like a staircase and a plane. And that was it.
Okay. So you're basically at my state. I'm trying to get the textures to load. And I got them to load oddly on one of the tutorial maps. But I can't repeat that on other maps. So like eroded concrete, if I go to texture set, I can set it to eCommons. And then the moment I do that, if I come here and hit choose, no, how did I get that to come up? That was so weird that it's not. Wonder if there's like an error going on. Simple test, this is the one I remember. There you go. So when I do simple test, I can actually now see my textures. Do you think there's like a zone name? No? Interesting. There's something I'm missing on these. Like, we may have to find as many tutorials as we can to reverse engineer what's going on here. But library textures, you can create folders, and then you can set your texture set on the right side with the display options. And then you can set a texture. Ooh, look at that. Like it was giving me the list, but now it's not. There's a log file going on, isn't there?
You saw that?
Who, me?
Oops, my bad. I'm still in this Valorant game, sadly.
Oh. All right. So. Oh, the source code is right. It says source. Is this literally the source code? If it is, we might be in some good business here. This design right now, though, is not useful for me. Okay. So you have a bunch of BMPs. This is... Give me a file format. DFS? PAS? What the hell? Is this... This is in Delphi, I hope. This could be in Pascal. What? Pascal would be a Delphi. I think this is a Delphi project. Yeah, PAS Delphi. So like if I open a new project window, go to the source, and then I search for PAS, there's your source code. And it's in Pascal. What the hell? Who the fuck did this in Pascal? That's so interesting that they decided on that language. Anyways, so here's a lot of this junk going on. So what I could potentially do, like here's textures.pass. What I want to see is, let's try to discern what's going on here. So like, edit texture list is the title. It's likely going to be in the Pascal config file potentially. Yeah, see the caption here? So this DFM is probably the form data. And what I want to see is if texture set, no, it's not even listed in there. Okay, so, and of course, there's quite a few references to texture sets. Texture set change. If not setting text set, then begin, then and if. Okay, this is not. Loading the scene might have caused the texture set to change. Open scene execute. If texture set is not blank, then set the index to the first texture set. Otherwise, set it to 0. This isn't super intel. Oh. Here's the CHM file, like in Rawr. For this tutorial, I need my texture set archive, which you can find on SourceForge. I'm pretty sure I did. It's under the EQ admin section in the pack called Open Zone Texture. When you get them, unzip the archive into your library texture subfolder, which we did. At the present, there are several zip files. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Create a small flat zone. The first thing you're going to do is create a simple square zone from scratch. Creating a new zone from scratch. Click new from the, yeah, let's just follow this real quick, since these don't normally work. So let's hit new. Okay, where was I? Click new and click on the leftmost button on the toolbar, the one that looks like a blank sheet of paper. Oh yeah, that would just be new. That's, wow, this is some interesting descriptions. At the warning, click OK. You should get a dialog for creating a zone from scratch. Do the following. Set the type to outside, okay. Leave bitmap, height map unchecked, okay. Leave create invisible unchecked, okay. Leave the bounding box settings alone since we won't be creating one. Okay. I guess the bounding box is your BSP, basically the size of the world bounding. Set the above texture to grass. Well, the fact I don't see grass is already concerning. Let me guess. My eCommons has grass. Yes. So how do we make it? Okay, when you get the unzip them into your library textures folder. Oh, so they want me to put this in the root. I think that's the issue I'm having right now. Let's see if this like magically makes things work. Let me exit and start up again. Because that's what it just directed me. It didn't say to make a subfolder. So, file new. Yep. Keep all these the same. There we go. Now grass is... That was the trick. Okay, so grass. Okay. Where are we at? File new, bitmap. Okay, leave the bounding box. Okay, set the grass. If you don't see any texture in the drop down, make sure the... Yeah, there. And actually, it just reminded you on the next step. Set the underwater texture to barren ground. Barren ground. In the bottom left, leave the center position values all to 0. Yep. In the bottom right, set the north and... So wait, set north-south to 2000 and east-west to 2000. Leave the up-down value to 0, which makes sense. This is your Y, your X, and your Z, basically. Open zone will rapidly regenerate. Okay, so let's hit OK. There we go. Look at that. A textured flat plane. Okay, to switch to fly mode, look for the blue eye. And the status window, the status bar at the bottom of the window will change. Let's look at this. Okay, it tells you in the very bottom left your status, which it's pretty damn obvious which one you're in. All right, near the lower right, you should see a white circle and 3 numbers on the status bar. Yeah. The circle is your compass. Ah. Okay. It should initially be pointing up, telling you that you're facing north. The X, Y values on the status bar are your position. Yep. In EQ loc. X is north-south. Yeah. Y is... so I got the coordinates wrong, I think, with X and Z and Y, but whatever. Where X increases when you move north and Y. Yeah. Rumple the flat ground to make it more interesting. Flat as a pool tape doesn't cut it when you're outside. Let's source things up a bit. Click rumple ground from the main menu. Wait. Rumple ground within radius. Wait, why did this... Okay. Let's rumple it by 10 units. Click on the ground editing options, which I'm assuming is over here. And then we have to, at the enter 10. Okay. And now, what is this? Rumple. It's like a shortcut right there. Your raise lower amount. Oh. So, it wants 10 here, and it didn't actually tell me to set height, so I'll keep that 0. Interesting. So that just went in. It changed a little, didn't it? Press the up down arrow on your keyboard to move forward. See, the ground isn't totally flat anymore. It's still pretty damn flat, but okay, I'll believe you. Completely enclose the zone with mountains. Let's make this zone landlocked. That is, it doesn't border. Yeah. Ground, mountainized edges, which this. Okay, you should get a pop-up. Which edge? Click all the compass points. And let's make the zone landlocked. Leave the grow outward setting unchecked. And leave the mountainized amount alone. Click OK. Boom! Look at the view. That looks like classic EQ, huh? That's pretty easy.
Wow, you're doing it, dude.
Clicking help movement keys will... Well, I mean, I'm just following a tutorial.
I know, I actually have your stream paused with your tutorial page that you found up. And I'm doing it too.
Well, I mean, you can grab the doc too, but yeah, it's probably easier just to refer to me for now. Okay, so clicking help movement keys. Yeah, we don't care about that. We can't even see it. Add a zone exit to the north. Click on the ground editing options button again. Okay. Wait. I did something wrong. I hit edit ground and that was not what it meant to... I don't think... I don't know what it's doing. It's saying it's loading texture, so... Okay. Please don't crash. Okay, good. Whew. Which actually, interestingly, this looks like your texture editor. Okay. So click on the ground editing options button again on the right side of the window. Okay, let me cancel out of this. I don't want to get distracted. Also, I'm going to save this now that I'm thinking about it. we're going to call this Zach first because naming. Look for the and set the look for the fly mode crosshair drop down. Okay, click on the ground editing button again. Look for the fly mode crosshair drop down. Okay, and set it to ground height editing. All right, you should see a bunch of yellow crosshairs. Yep, and possibly a red one near you. They represent ground grid positions, and they mark the elevation of each of them out of the certain distance. The red one is the one you're closest to. Okay. Turn with your left and right arrow keys until the compass points roughly north. That's rigid. Okay. So we're facing north. Then walk forward until the red crosshair is at the base of the line of the mountains. The base of the line of the mountains? You're probably in the middle of the mountain chain. Once you're there, click add zone. Oh, they want me to make a zone exit, so let's go over on the edge here. They're talking about like right here, I think. Click ground, add zone exit. You'll be presented with a pop-up asking you which kind of exit you want to create. Doesn't matter which, so just keep the setting that gives you and click OK. Dude, it just fucking put that's awesome, through the mountains. The wizard lowered the ground where you were and created one of those sneaky exits that we all know and love. Though you may not know it, it also created a zone bounds, the ground editor, so you won't be able to climb up the sides when in game. Where? Read on. The mountain's edges wizard also places zone bounds all around your zone to block players move over the mountains, and they're still there. The one on the north is blocking the way out of the exit, so we have to change it. Open the ground editor either by clicking on the toolbar button that looks like a snow-capped mountain. Okay, wait. This one. This is, I think, the thingy I was... Is it the ground textures? No. Yeah, I think it's just edit ground. Okay. Yeah, ground, edit ground. Okay. This is the one that took a long time to load. Which is
Where
faster,
did you find
not
this
scratched.
doc?
What was that?
Where did you find this doc? Where you have like this tutorial page.
So the directory is, in my case, I have a source folder in OpenZone. And in the source directory, there's openzone.che. Just open that up in like Notepad or whatever.
Sick.
That's all and then it's like I just scrolled through it and I found like I'm on line number 93 right now. So assuming you're using VS Code, should be easy to find.
Yep, I got it.
Cool. So now we need to figure out what we're doing now that we have the ground editor. You're looking down on your zone with the north at the top. All right, so yes, I can see that the zone is just pure green though. Okay. Where are the zone bounds? Well, you could check the show zone bounds checkbox, but that won't cut it here since we actually want to change them. So leave alone. Instead, click on the bounds tab on the left. Okay. Oh, that's cool. All right, so now we got this bounds on the left. The bounds appeared as soon as you clicked on the tab. The grounds editor knows that you will need to see your bounds when you're in this tab. Each of the yellow lines you see represents transparent polygons that will block progress when in game. The little arrows in the center of each one represents two things. First, they point to the side of the bound in which the player can reside. Move against the little arrow, and the bound blocks the player's progress. Second, they point out the direction for moving through the bound. You see, zone bounds are always one-sided. You can pass through them in one direction, but not the other. It's vital, therefore, that you draw them in such that the arrow's orientation is correct. Well, that makes sense. So they're like one-way walls. The bounds appeared as soon as you clicked the tab. The ground editor knows that you need to see your bounds when you're in this tab. Each of the yellow lines you see represents a transparent polygon that will, you're making invisible walls. The little arrows in the center of each of these represents two things. First, the point to the side of the bound in which the player can reside. Move against the little arrow and the bound blocks the player's progress. Second, they point out the direction for moving through the bound. You see, zone bounds are always one-sided. Wait, did I just reread this twice? I think I did. There are way more bounds than necessary here. Look at the bottom left and bottom right corners of the zone. You don't need those zone bounds since they're up in the mountains where we don't want the player to go anyways. Let's get rid of them. So on the toolbox at the left, make sure the white arrow button is depressed. Yeah. This means that you're in bound selection mode. Click on one of the bounds you want to discard. Okay, it should be redrawn in red. Like this. Okay, wait. Where was I? There's too much text. Okay, then click on the trash icon in the toolbox. The bound will disappear. If you make a mistake, you can click the undo button on the toolbox. Okay. The bounds editor supports undo and redo and has up to 20. Okay. Once you're cleaned the bottom left and bottom right corners, do the same in the upper left and upper right corners. I think, let's see here. Let me orient myself here. These are the walls of, where you can go. And I think this one potentially needs to be tweaked. I'm not fully sure what it meant by delete the region so you can walk through. Select the northern zone bound, the one at the mountain's edge that's stretching across the central square. Now, go to the toolbox and click the snap to endpoint button. Looks like a blue line with a red dot. Okay. Each of the buttons in the toolbox has tooltips that'll tell you, yeah. Once you've turned on the snapping, go to the rightmost endpoint of the bound you selected and drag it until it snaps to the left edge of the zone exit. What? Remember remember, if you make a mistake, you can always undo. In the worst case, you can click cancel. This part's a little ambiguous because I'm like, I see a bunch of arrows. I understand he wants me to modify them and delete them, but which ones and why? That's the part I'm not fully following. I understand these are all boundaries of where you can and can't go. So I almost want to say this one needs to be deleted, but I think it's trying to tell me that these need to be deleted. I don't know. Once you've moved the end of the bound, we have closed off the area to the right of the zone exit. We're going to do this by adding another bound. In the toolbox, click the yellow button to the right of the selection arrow. Draw new boundary. Okay. Notice how the selection arrow button came up. You can either select bounds or draw new ones. Yeah. Once you've moved to the end of the bound, we have closed off the area to the right of the zone exit. We're going to do this by adding another bound. Draw a bound from right to left. And then go back to and click on the selection arrow button again to leave drawing mode. Then drag the endpoints to snap on the endpoints of other bounds to close off that area. Okay, so when you're done, you should have 5-point bounds delimiting the main square area and several more around the zone exit. So let's just... Okay. First of all, that already messed up. You can't just left click once, and undo is not Control Z. Can I just drag it? Yes. Okay. And if I select, so is it down, up? Okay, that gives me like a barrier here if I wanted. And if I go to select mode, I can clean up the snap. Right? I might have to come back to this later after I get a little bit more familiar. Because, go back to the toolbox and click this selection area. Now drag the endpoints and bound until they snap. When you're done, you should have 5 bounds delimiting the main area square area. I don't know what the main square area is. Like, what is he describing? Is he describing the area that zones you? Or the bounds of, like, where you can't go? Okay. We're not finished with... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just laughing.
Like, these descriptions, it was really good at the beginning, but once he got into the setting boundaries, his terminology and, like, what he's directing, he stopped being as explicit. So I get to this point, and then he's like, yeah, just delete some boundaries until it cleans it up and makes it simpler. And it's like, what? Like... delete what boundaries and make how, like, what do you mean simpler? Like maybe he wants this deleted and then he wants this point to be moved. But see, the geometry is just weird. Oh, see, they snap. That's cool.
I'm still trying to figure out how to rumple the ground, man. I made a border, but I haven't rumpled the ground. Did you get that done?
Uh-huh.
Like, your ground's not all flat?
Yeah, it's been waved. It's not super rumpled, but it's rumpled-ish. All right, that's good enough. I like it. We're just going to move on, and I'm going to make a road now because reasons.
Yeah, that's cool that you're already that far along in building the map.
Well, especially in Outdoors World, which are normally, I would think, would be the scary ones, right? But, like, here's your zone line, which this is very normal EQ style right here. It also sucks that there's no interpolation. You're, like, snap moving. But, yeah, here's my new e-commons. All right, let's add a road. We're not finished yet with the ground. This is a great time to learn how to draw other textures on the zone. I'm going to skip this. We can make a depression. They're going to add a water area, add a building. Okay, let's see how this world... Okay, let's make a foundation real quick. You construct a building in open zone much the way you do in the real world. First, you level the ground, then you lay the foundation, then the exterior walls, and the interior walls, and the second floor, and so on. Eventually, you add a roof and proceed in the interior furnishing. Okay. We're not going to cover all that here, but here's a small taste. The first step is create ground, get ground height. Okay. See the number next to the set height on the pane? The number next to... okay. Round it to the nearest integer and write it down. The problem is I don't know where he's... Because according to him, it's all 0. Okay, yeah, I'll round that to the nearest 0. This will be the bottom coordinate of your foundation. Now go to geometry and click on the box button. Okay. What are we going to call it? A pop will appear asking you for the name of the object. Accept the default settings, box 1. Okay. I got a baby box. You should see
Baby.
it. If you don't, maybe you're too high up, blah, blah, blah. Use the home and end keys until it looks like you're about standing on the ground. Okay. You should see the box. This is a good time to make the window a little larger. Okay. In the object properties, under loc, see both x and y. Set all the x and y values to negative 250. So it's going way the hell over there and way the hell over there. Move with the cursor keys to find the box again. Okay. Wee. Yeah. The baby box. Okay. Once you've located the box again, set the z value to the value you wrote down earlier. Okay, that's easy. 0. Done. The box will sink into the ground and might disappear almost entirely. That's okay, and that's because I don't think the ground rumbling worked when I did it earlier, because it looks very flat already. Under the size, set the x and y values to 40. Size, x and y to 40. Nice. And leave the z at 1. Okay. Looks kind of plain, doesn't it? That's because it doesn't have a texture. Let's set one. Under text 1, set it to eroded concrete. I don't see letters. Okay. Eroded concrete. Boom. Amazing. It's a drop down. Yep. Okay. Don't use the ellipses. That's for setting animated textures. Ah, okay. Good job. You've laid your foundation. You can wash the dried concrete off your hands. Get ready to lay some brick instead. Create exterior walls. Let's do something interesting first. On the fly mode drop down, click it to create object. Oh. The ground crosshairs will disappear and be replaced with a single yellow on at your feet. I can't look down. Are these navigation buttons? No, this is for moving objects. How do you... Oh, page down? And page up, and then home flies. Okay. So there's the big crosshair, even though it's not on my feet. It's technically...
Oh, I figured out the rumpling, dude. I got it.
Good job. Was there anything special to get it going, or just repeating the instructions over again?
Nah, I think we just did it in the wrong place. You didn't get the rumple, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, so on your right, you see where it says raise/lower amount?
Right?
That's not right. That's just raising the map. So just put that back to 0.
Okay.
And then where it says set height up at the top, that's your rumple amount on your right hand side of your
Got it.
yeah, right up there.
I'm
So
not
then
going to
you
mess
just
with it
rumple
for
the whole
now,
zone.
but yeah, I'll have to... Well, when I make another one, I'll have to tweak with that.
It makes it super natural.
I'm afraid of jacking up because I put on the mountains and everything already. But here, let me do this. I can save. And then let's set the height. You said to 10 or something?
Yep.
Let's rumple.
I do the whole zone.
I did. I hit the height map ground.
You
And
do the radius. I don't know where you set that radius on that one that you clicked.
Well, it's on the
go back to
bottom.
ground.
I
No,
can
no,
do
no, no, no. Here, go back to ground over there in the top left where you did your rumple.
Yep.
And then there's a drop down that says rumple ground in whole zone.
That's what I did wrong. There it
There
is.
you go. You see?
All right, now I'm pog champing.
Yeah, it
PogChamp.
took me a while to figure out where that number was because I was like in ground editing options.
Now, of
trying to
course,
figure
my
it out.
zone line is going to be jacked up now.
Mhm.
But actually, that should be okay. We don't normally have in EQ the zone lines wonky, but it's natural.
That's a zone line right there. Look at that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is my zone line I made, but
Oh, it is?
yeah, see? It snakes in, and
That's cool, dude.
it looks just like EQ, don't it?
You don't even have to set a zone line. You could just do one of those NPCs if you didn't want to learn how to mess with it.
It's not hard. They have a system built into it once you get through the README.
Oh, jeez. This is sick, dude. This is actually sick.
All right, now the issue is I have to hit get ground height, which is -6 now. And I think I have to set this now to -6. Ooh, 6. Apparently that's negative of what it should be. But that looks kind of flat, right? We'll see. Maybe they're going to have something later for that. Or maybe I need to move this. See, you messed up my ground and now everything's messed up. Because look, my house is now on a slope.
It's in the slope.
It's floating halfway through the slope.
Yeah, that texture Google Drive dump I gave you is actually awesome. It's filled with good textures.
Okay, well, for now, I'm just using the sample ones, so I keep with what they're telling me. But 5, 2, I think 2. No, actually, let's just make it 0. Yeah, honestly, now that the world's crumpled, I'm not sure how I'm going to make this spot look good. But that's okay. We're going to just keep moving on. It's okay if it's halfway in the ground. In fact, let me make it raised, like back to 6. Even though it's basically floating, that's okay. Okay. Where are we at? The ground one. This one moves with it. Show the object that will be created when you click on them on the object toolbar. You won't strictly need it yet, but since we'll be placing walls at precision coordinates, but it helps when you're going. Okay. So go to buildings. Okay. And click the wall button. All right. Wall 1. By default, new objects always start in their initial size of 111. This makes it they're always small at first, but you're used to it. Right off the bat, set the texture to old bricks. Okay. So, old bricks. It really sucks the drop down on the left does not. It goes beyond the side of the screen. Old bricks. All right. Each object type on the object toolbar is actually a script. Scripts are tiny programs. They take parameters and create polygons in a certain manner based on those parameters. So yeah, this is what makes it powerful. Yeah, let's make a hole that faces west and has a doorway in it. So set the X location to -250. And the Y location to -210. And the Z to 1 plus the Z location of your foundation, which I think is 7. Okay. Since the foundation is on 1 unit thick, so if your foundation Z is 9, then you go to 10, right? Set the wall's X size to 40. And the Z to 15. Ta-da! And leave the Y at 1. Okay. Now it's against the north edge. Yep. That's pretty cool. I made a wall to my house. Okay. Okay. We want to solve this by rotating it by its location point. Okay, so set the Z rotation to 270. Okay, that's confusing as fuck. But okay, now it's, I guess, on the north side. Now let's add our doorway. With the wall script, the hole is always on the center by default if there's only one. If we want an off center, we have to set the hole offset value to something other than 0, and it will shift the hole. Set the door property to true. Okay, let me rotate so I can look at this. Look at that. I got a freaking doorway. Okay, then set the hole width property to 8. Hole width to 8. A little wider. And the hole height to 10. And a little taller. That's better. Do you notice how some values are in bright blue and in parentheses? Yeah. One property of scripts is that their properties can have default values. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I don't need to get that explanation. Yeah, okay. In general, you can revert back to the default. Yeah, okay. And that's how you, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's make the rest real quick. Add another wall and give it the following settings. Okay, new wall. And we're going to put it at -211 and -210 and 7, I believe is what the number was. And then rotate it to 70 on X, Y, Z. And 41 and then 15. Set the window to true. And the texture to old bricks, which it already is. Okay, so in theory, I just put another wall and it has a window. Look at that. Just perfect. It says let's make the rest quick, and then it only makes another wall, and then we move to a roof. Oh, I have to fill in the last 2 walls. Eee. That's like manual labor. Okay. So 250, 110. This is not super intuitive. So it's like 211, 210, and like 7. And then this probably needs to be rotated 270 again-ish. But then the size is, instead of 4115, it's probably going to be like 14015. Oop, wrong way. So can I just rotate this 90? There-ish. The geometry doesn't match very well, but hey, that's what you get when you tell me just to put it in myself. Let's see. Rotating 180 degrees is not fun.
Oh, geez. Houston, we have a problem. I can't find the texture for my ground. I need to cover up this road and I can't find my old texture.
All right, wall 4, and we can just refer to -211. Wait. Okay, so X is going to be different. It's going to have to add on like 40-ish. So let's try like, I think 251. I don't see it. That's not a good sign. But we'll just keep going because it'll be obvious once I make it. So 140, 15. All right, so where is it? There it is, and it's going the wrong way. So we need to obviously still rotate it, which is probably Z90 again, right? Because that's what I did here. I don't need this to be, I need this to be 450. Okay, arrow keys move you, so when you're trying to edit numbers, it's super annoying. There we go. My very ugly. Is it just because my width and height's wrong? Or why is it like not aligning right? I must be doing some number wrong. Is it this value? Ah, it's not 211, it's 210. That looks better already. Might even be 209. No. Unless I have to change 40 to 39. Alright, so if I change this to 40, it actually overlaps on that side. In fact, you can see it does not perfectly align. But you know what? I don't care. This is purely demo. We'll keep it 40. Okay, so we got 4 walls, okay? That's good enough. Let's add the roof. On the buildings tab, and you know what I'm actually do real quick because this thing is so long. View, word wrap, search for on the building tab. There we go. All right, we're gonna click on the roof button. Floor. Is there a roof button? Roof. There we go. All right. Give it the following settings. Location, -250, -250, and 25. Okay. Rotation, 0, 0, 0. And size is 40, 45. Is that what it said? 5. Set the left R texture. Okay. To simple wood. And the FB texture to old bricks. Set overhangy to 1. The roof is an extreme power script and requires some practice to learn everything. Well, there's some issues. First of all, your Y is not correct. Because it says 40, but like that's floating in the air, dude. Or is the Z off? 5? Wait, why did he say 25? Shouldn't it be 7 plus 15 or something? Like 22? Yeah. Because you figure this was on 6. These went up 15. It actually can go up 1 more potentially. It might be 23. Nope, it's 22. Well, okay. With that done, and by the way, Josh, did you want to play some StarCraft? Hey, Zachary, working on a custom zone? That's right. We're messing around with open zone. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and save this and export it real quick. And just see.
It's totally up to you if you wanted to play some StarCraft.
Sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and export this real quick. I'm probably not in character select anymore. Oh, I am. Okay. Let's see if this world works in game. Like, oh wait, I got to copy it. Damn it, I always forget that step. Give me 1 second. I have to camp. And now I can go back here and I can grab the zone, paste it into my client, and I should be to character select. Start over again. And I crashed because that is basically EQ. All right. We will go back in game. Oh, snap. There's no lighting data, but there's my freaking tree. Look at that. I know it's floating. But it has collision data and it works perfectly. That's actually pretty crazy.
That's pretty sick, dude.
It worked. How do I make it look good for a screenshot? Because it's floating. I'll be like, look,
yeah, like that.
totally not sus. How do you set the
No sus
time
about this.
in
Hashtag
game?
time set. No, hashtag time and then hour, minute.
There we go.
There you go. Boom.
Give it some character. How do I get this just right? Let's do. There you go.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Yep. I'm pretty much done. We'll stop and play some StarCrafts. All right. And Gangster, you're right behind me, so you'll be doing this in no time.
Like a water pit and stuff going on.
Right? Like, to the building blocks to a cool zone. That's funny, though.
The hell? There's a Windows 11?
Yeah, dude, it's been out for a while now. It's a free update, but I don't know if you really want it.
What the fuck?
So that was just a demo, Fanar. But yeah, I think I'm going to learn how to do the dungeons, and even open worlds could be fun. But what you really need to do is, other than master this tooling, is we got to sit down and like start drafting what exactly the design of the zones are going to be, you know, envisioning where the mobs are going to be and whatnot.
Right.
But no, it's pretty cool. Exciting stuff. Well, anyways, Fanar, thanks for